Oh dear. Oh. Okay, let's do this. Valerian, City of a Thousand Planets, is directed by I'm a professional. Let's do this properly. Come on, let's start this again. Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets is directed by Luc Besson, stars Dane DeHaan and Cara Delevingne, and is the story of Valerian, played by Dane DeHaan, and Laureline, Cara Delevingne, who have to go to the home-based planet of Alpha, which is many ships over many universes coming together to form this whole harmonious planet called, as I said, Alpha. And after a mysterious radiation spike, Valerian and Laureline are sent down to investigate and get a little bit more than they bargained for. Now, I would say in the last sort of decade we have been spoilt with some awesome sci-fi movies. You've got the Star Trek trilogy that's come out with Chris Pine. You're getting a new Star Wars movie every Christmas pretty much for the last 3 years, coming up with another one. And we're also getting Blade Runner coming out this year as well. So there's plenty of lofty heights, huge sci-fi movies that are coming out or have come out these last 10 years, and I'm afraid to say, guys, this one is not with it in the slightest. This is one huge, giant, crappy mess. The story and the concept of this movie seem like a pretty cool idea. I like the fact that Valerian has to go and find this radiation spike. It's not the biggest and best idea or the most original idea we've ever heard. I like the home planet base of Alpha. I think that's actually a really cool original idea. But everything else just seems to be borrowed from other things. I think that every alien, in my view, just seemed like a bad recreation or something they've plucked from Men in Black in that lobby scene where you see them all gathered getting passports and stuff. I think that they're all borrowed from that, or they look like everything bad that George Lucas has done to the Star Wars trilogy now with the bad CGI weird aliens that they've put into it. You know, it just seems like there was no real originality. And one thing that also was really annoying was the blatant rip-off lookalike of the Millennium Falcon that Alex, the ship that Valerian and Laureline use. It just looks so similar, too similar to me, and as soon as I saw it in this really like wide shot, I was like, that's just clearly the Millennium Falcon, and there's a weird other dimension that they can only see through VR glasses, and it just looks like every FPS game ever on PS4 or whatever. It's so stupid. And every time that you'd see them away from this VR place, it looked like a couple of goofballs, badly acted goofballs. It's ridiculous. It just... Look, just calm down. Come on. I get that Luc Besson quite famously wrote The Fifth Element, so yeah, he can write an awesome sci-fi script, but why did it feel like to me when watching this movie he just borrowed things from other films? And if not, he's trying to attach himself to these ones that have made so much money, like Star Wars and like Star Trek, that he's just like on them like a limpet, and it just feels like he's trying to suck everything out of them, and it's just so obvious. So obvious. You would think with your main character being the title of your movie, you would have someone who is extremely good at being a leading man, or someone who's at least competent enough. Dane DeHaan is not any of those things. I mean, look at him. Is he a leading man to you? No. Which brings me on to my other point, that actually Cara Delevingne is the strongest point for me in this movie. Her last major performance was probably Enchantress in Suicide Squad. Let's not go into that one. I don't want to. It's quite scary how bad it was. But in this one, she's extremely competent. She's very funny and witty. I really enjoyed her in this movie. And without her, Valerian would just be walking around like a lost puppy. She really does drag what plot there is forward. She helps him through what he needs to do, guides him through what he needs to do, and actually saves him more than anything. So I'd say she was actually pretty good, and the only reason I really stayed in because it's really hard not to walk out of this one. Now, when reading or watching other reviews, a lot of people will say to you that it's visually stunning. Now, I would agree with that also, but what I would not agree with is the fact that this film is revolutionary in some way in the way it uses its CG. Because my main comparison and what I kept thinking about in the film, and it kept nagging in my brain, was, yes, but it's just the same as Avatar, which has been out for a damn long time, and to be fair, this is just on par with it in my opinion, and is, you know, there's a lot better movie than this one, and it just seemed like it was just Avatar. It didn't seem any different. It doesn't seem revolutionary or seem extraordinary in any way, and that's just so bad when I can compare it to something that I'm not a huge fan of Avatar. When I can compare it to that and just think, well, it's been done, then I'm not that blown away by what everyone else is saying. I've got to build myself up for this bit. The cringiest. Okay, go. The cringiest part of the whole movie for me was, amazingly, not Ethan Hawke as a space cowboy. That's another matter. But it is actually Rihanna and her cameo as the character Bubble. Now, Bubble is almost like the Pokemon Ditto. She can transform into pretty much anything she sees. But just her whole storyline with Valerian is that she transforms for him under the guise of Ethan Hawke telling her to, and then she does a performance, she gets obsessed with Valerian liking her performance, and once she's transformed for him, it's all she ever goes on about. And then at the end of her performance and all the things they do together, they have the cringiest, flimsiest goddamn ending you've ever seen, that literally I was struggling so hard not to burst out laughing at. God, just no with that one. Just no. Another thing to add on the list for me was the music. Now, I may have been spoiled, of course, with the great soundtracks I've heard from movies like Atomic Blonde and Baby Driver and a lot of other cinematic scores that have gone on this year. But this just seems to me like it's been taken straight out of Spy Kids or any of those Nickelodeon-owned movies. You can barely hear them. They're very, very bland, and they're so uninspiring. It's so boring. I can't think of anything good to say about them. Oh, God. What am I doing? Look, guys, if you can't tell already by my reactions here, the movie sucked. The plot was boring, and it was predictable. The main character just sort of isn't, because I think Laureline literally took over the entire main character role and was a better main character than Valerian was. And it's not as revolutionary as I think everyone can see. How it got a standing ovation in Hall H at Comic-Con, I have no idea. Were they all drugged? Were they all blind? Were they all just completely mad? I don't know. But I certainly would have just been sitting there in a mood, not thinking about it, because it was just, Guys, for all these bad things and everything I've said, I give Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets a 0.5 out of 5. So, there you have it, guys. There is my breakdown / review that I've tried to get through on Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets. If you have seen the movie, I'd really love to know what you think. Did you guys love it? I'd love to know if you have. I really would love to know if you have seen it and liked it. And yeah, don't forget to follow me on all the social medias. You know the drill, and I will see you guys in the next video.